last 2 weeks we spoke about Elul. Today I want to finish with Elul for very quick, but I want to do something very interesting about Rosh Hashanah, because in previous year we brought the Minhagim, we spoke about a few things that we have to do in Rosh Hashanah, we explained what is Tashlich. Today I'm not going to speak about it. Today I'm going to take actually the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, and we look at something very interesting, and there the Gemara tells us how to be acquitted in a judgment. We all want to be acquitted in a judgment. Everyone understand what I'm saying, acquitted? Ech latzet zakai badin. The Gemara explained to us. So we have a remedy from the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, and Be'ezrat Hashem will try to find how to do that, to help us. And the last thing that I'm going to go through the Tkiot. I'm going to explain why we're blowing 101 sound, and watch each Tkiah meaning to help us to understand. That's also part of the remedy to help us how to be acquitted in a judgment. So Be'ezrat Hashem will do that. But as you all know,
I just walked in. Why 101 and blow 100?
we blow 101 sound. I'll explain. Give me a chance when we get to it, you'll ask me questions. I'll explain, then you'll ask all the questions. But first, as you all know, less than a week is Rosh Hashanah. Less than 1 week, we are entering the Judgment Day. It's a big day. We don't understand, because the Gemara tells us, everyone gets judged on Rosh Hashanah. When I say everyone, I don't mean only human beings. Everyone. Countries, Jewish people, Gentile, animals. Everyone gets judged on Rosh Hashanah, even the trees. How much they live, how long, how much prosperity, how much health. Everyone gets judged on Rosh Hashanah. We don't understand how important that day. But Hazal come and tell us something very important. And as we mentioned, Elul is the month of Chodesh HaRahamim VaSelihot. That we can do repentance, we can do good deeds if we want to become Zakaim Badin, acquitted in a judgment. But Hazal tell us a secret, that week, every day of the week, it's equivalent for all the days during the year. What does it mean? A Sunday, for example, today is Wednesday. Let's take Wednesday. If we do tshuva today, it's for all the Wednesday, all year around. Do you understand? That you work properly on that Wednesday, it's all the Wednesday, all over the year. That if we done sin, HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to erase it. So we still have a chance to become acquitted on a judgment. So with that, I would like to conclude Elul. I would like to start with Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, page 16, folio 1, says something very interesting. I'm going to read it in Hebrew, then I will translate it. And it says like this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu say to the Jewish people, listen what he said. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Almighty say, Imru lefanai beRosh Hashanah. Say in the front of me. What it means, say in the front of me? Read in the front of me, in Rosh Hashanah, Malkuyot, Zichronot, Veshofarot. I will explain. Malkuyot, it's kingdom. Zichronot, memories. Okay? Shofarot, everyone know what is a shofar. But in English you call it a trumpet, nachon? So just if you translate, you understand what I'm talking about. So we have to say in the front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to remind them those three. Let's continue and see what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said. Kedeh, in a merit, that shetamlichuni alechem. That means in that merit that you said, you're going to crown me over you. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be the king. We'll explain everything. And then he said, why did he say that? Kedeh sheya'aleh zichronchem lefanai letova. What does it mean? That on that merit that you're going to see say the three things in Rosh Hashanah, and they are Malchuyot, Zichronot, Veshofarot, that will crown me, and then I will remember you in good merit. Do you understand the Gemara? No. Let's explain. So the first question that we have to understand, what is Malkuyot, Zichronot, and shofarot. What does it mean? Kingdom, memories, and trumpet. We have to explain that. The second question, how can we crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu on us? So let's start by Ezrat Hashem. Malchuyot, what does it mean Malchuyot? It's a kingdom that we have to understand, and we have to remember, and we have to remind ourselves in every minute that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, okay, He's the king of the entire universe, the king of this world. He's the only one that creator and no one else. There is no other creator. There is only one God. That He's in charge. Once that you know that, we pass the first one, and that's called Malkuyot, the kingdom. That kingdom belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is no other kingdom in the world. And there is no other king, only one king. If we remember that while we're davening, and we'll see when we have to remember that, that will help us in Rosh Hashanah davening. That's the first thing that we have to remember. The second one is zichronot. What it means zichronot? Memories. We have to understand in Rosh Hashanah when we're standing and davening that at that beside moment, HaKadosh Baruch Hu judged the world. Everyone He judged. Why? To be afraid from the judgment. Nachon that we obligated to be in Simcha in Rosh Hashanah, but with fear, not to lose our head. Yugilu birada, Hazal say. What does it mean? That you should be happy on Rosh Hashanah, but have a fear of heaven. Understand that that's the judgment day. The third one is shofarot, that you have to remember the sound of the blowing the shofar. Which sound? The future sound of the shofar that HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to send Mashiach, and He going to blow the shofar, and then the world going to come to complete all the tzoros that we have when the Mashiach comes. So we have to remember those three. So when we davening, Rabotai, you know when is the most important? In Amidah. The most important between the Amidah and Shahrit and Musaf is Musaf. Keneged Korban Musaf that they used to bring in Bet HaMikdash. So that Musaf, because we don't have Bet HaMikdash, and we can't bring Korban Musaf, we davening the Tfilat Musaf. And that davening, if we remember those three, we done a half of the job. The second part, it's to crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu over us. And here come the problem. Joe, you look a bit... What's the question? If you didn't understand, just stop me. Because I don't want to continue if you don't understand. So to crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu over us, where do we see that? Because in a pasuk, the Gemara that tell us, Kedei shetamlichuni alechem. We obligated to crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu over us. How do we crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu over us? Very simply. Hazal say, you want to become acquitted in a judgment? Crown HaKadosh Baruch Hu over you. How do we do that? And a moment that we have to understand, Hazal tell us, the very important thing, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the creator of this world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge about this world, no other one. HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges, and He judges the entire world. And He'll decide who's going to live, for how long he's going to live, how wealthy he's going to be, how healthy he's going to be. I don't want to say the opposite. I always say the good things. Hazal say, always say the good thing. Don't say the negative. And that's what we have to understand. And beside the Almighty, there is no one else. But Hazal come and tell us something very interesting. That we quite often can make a mistake and we don't realize that Has v'Shalom we can come to Kfirah. Everyone understand the word Kfirah? Kfirah is to become a non-believer. Kofer is a non-believer in Hebrew. Okay? Kfirah, when you don't believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Has v'Shalom. God forbid. Sorry? What did you say, Brian? Who say something?
They are some non-believers.
There is, but we don't want to be amongst them. We want to have a good judgment this year. So the Torah tells us, and Hazal come in and put it, how do you do that? Because Haz v'Shalom, if a person say one word, he can be a kofar. And I'll bring one example. A person, lo alenu, was very sick, and he said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu cure me with the doctor. HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the doctor cure me. Hazal say, in the moment that you say that, you're a non-believer. Why? Say why. And the moment that you compare a human being, a flesh, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're finished. So Hazal say, what should we say? What should we say? Hazal say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu cure me, but he sent me a good messenger, one of his good messenger, to do the job. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the moment that you say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the doctor cure you, how can a doctor cure you? If you say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the only one, and you bring in the doctor and you're comparing him, it doesn't work together. You follow? So here come.
Sorry, let me ask you.
Yes.
If a parent has got a sick child, it doubles to Hashem.
Yes.
The child dies.
Yeah.
And that parent becomes a non-believer. I mean,
Okay,
not
that was the second part. I'm coming now. That's when I come to it. That we have to understand. Now I'm come to the second part. Russell always, in the Shurim, he's 10 steps ahead. He always shoot a mess out. We have to understand that in that, not always everything come good. That's what Russia tried to say, Nachon? So what's happening? Sometimes we see, and I'm going to make actually the question of Russell a bit more complicated. We see a baby born. Never sinned in his life, Nachon? Never done any harm. And you see that child, lo alenu, whatever the judgment was. How can it be? Nachon? Very good question. Russell, that's plus minus what you wanted to understand. Hazal explained, and the Zohar explained it in a depth, that child have to come to this world for whatever reason is. But because he didn't sin, they don't allow them to grow up more. He finished, and now that he done his repentance in this world, for whatever case, he's going up to heaven. Clean. Do you understand that? Nachon, that for the parents, it's very difficult. A parent that lost child, no one can explain the pain. No one. No one can understand the pain. Only them, they can understand and they can feel. But they have to understand that all what's happened, the neshama gone back to where it's supposed to be. Because what's happened, they left the body here. That's all. The neshama gone up to heaven, gone to rest. What's happening? We'll ask many people, where do you see through? Through the eyes. Nachon? Everyone will answer. I don't agree. Why? Because when a person dies, the eyes is still there. Does he see? He can't see. He see through the neshama. So the neshama gone up to where she want to go. Where she obligated to go. Not where she want. Sorry. Where she obligated to go. So when we see those cases, it's very hard. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu know better. And that's the second part that I wanted to get. That when we see sometimes things that we don't understand, we can ask those questions. But doesn't mean that we'll get the answer. So the Zohar come and tell us that those neshama go to where they go. They have a job to do. They come to this world for a month, for 10 days, whatever the case is. They done their job, the neshama now going up to heaven. And that's where she's supposed to be. Do you follow? Okay, Rassi?
Yeah, but you have to have
Let me just...
a large amount of faith to still actually believe.
Nachon.
I mean, look, a perfect example is this lady who came here whose son got killed. In my opinion, she's almost like on the extreme. I mean, there are more people who are on the other extreme
I tell you what. I can't speak about the Holocaust. But Arav Ben Porat, his parents, I think that he also is, no, he's not. I'm mistaken. Arav Ben Porat, his parents is a Holocaust survivor. And he's, by profession, he's a historian, besides being a rabbi, great rabbi. And he explained about the Holocaust and how people can still have the faith. Because what they saw in the Holocaust, none of us experience. And please God, we will never experience. But believe me, the test that they have, parents saw their kids going. And they knew where they're going. And you know what the Nazi Yimach Shimam v'Zichram done. They knew. And to stay still, a person that believes in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and to accept, and to say, Kol de'avid rahmana letav avid, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu done is for good. How many people can say that? You saw Rahel Frankel here.
I mean, the message is to daven that you think that you're never in the position to have to be.
Amen. Amen. I bless Olam Israel, not to have any more suffering anymore. You know, we say in a Siddur, Tichle Shana V'Kilototeh. That means that the year will end with all the curses that we have. And when I say curses, enough that one parent cry for the child. Enough that one woman cried that her husband shalom, become a widow. Or someone cried that he got injured or got sick. That's enough curses. And then we say, Tahel Shana v'birchotea. That the new year will come with all the blessing. And that's what is it about Rosh Hashanah. Yes, Zev. Can you, a bit louder?
The child is born and passes away days, weeks after that the child has done his job here and the soul goes to heaven. Okay. What is the position with a stillborn child?
In a?
The stillborn child, the child that is not born alive.
Okay, so there is a mahloket among the poskim. Is it considered, when it's been tzad, considering a child? If it's after 40 days, before 40 days, you understand? Because the body didn't develop. You understand? And then do you have to bury? You understand? It's very complicated. But in general, over 40 days, one that it's formed a body, then we have to start. It's not simple, we have to bury it. Do you understand? And that if you look in our Jewish religion, okay, we're moving a bit, I'll go back to the subject, with that I want to go back, that we sit Shiva. The first 3 days, we're allowed to cry. After that, Hazal tell us, don't cry anymore. Why? Because those 3 days, Hazal knew that you're close to your beloved. After that, leave the faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not easy, but they're giving us remedy. One day we'll speak about, maybe I'll do a show about it. Yes?
You explained to the baby man of 10 days a month, then the baby's job is done. What does the baby do in 10 days? How can this job be done?
Let me explain to you. Okay, we're moving a bit out of the show, but I'll answer that and with that we'll stop. I know that's a very interesting subject. The neshama, the Kabbalistic rabbi, the mystical rabbi explained the neshama doesn't want to come down here. All what we leave here is the shell. She doesn't want to come here. Why? Because the world, the neshama is pure. Do you understand? The neshama doesn't want to come here. The neshama doesn't want to come down to earth. Why? She want to be in heaven. Pashut. So when she come down here, for her it's a suffering. It's a suffering that the neshama feel. When she go up, it's much easier. That's where she belongs. For us to understand, imagine that they put you in a place that you don't want to be. It's suffering. But let's continue. So we say that the person have to say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu cure me. Only Him cure me. he doesn't have, has v'shalom, a partner. Like the Goyim say. The Gentiles say, they believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yes, is God, but there's other God that help him, has v'shalom. Peter, you say yes. You know what I'm talking about. That's the mahloket between the Rambam and the Rashi regarding Christianity. Is Christianity considered shituf or not? Everyone understand what is a shituf? That means that has v'shalom, Yoske is like equivalent has v'shalom. Do you understand? That's the mahloket. And that's the consider if they have, is Christianity avodah zarah or not. There's a mahloket between Rashi and Rambam. But the point is, and I'm going back to the subject, we have to understand and to memorize in Rosh Hashanah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that cured. HaKadosh Baruch Hu only sent me a good messenger to do his job. How did he send the job? By sending a messenger. For example, another example for us to understand. A good friend sent me a Shana Tova. Send me a postcard for Rosh Hashanah. Who sent the postcard? The delivery boy? The deliverer? The postman? Or my friend? Do you understand? So the cue been sent by who? By HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's just the delivery come by the doctor. Everyone understand that? And that's what Hazal say. When a person go to a doctor, he should pray that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should send them Shaliach Ne'eman, a good messenger. Okay, now that we explained that, we have to understand, when we're standing in Davin Amidah, that's what we have to remember, those things. But we have 3 different tki'ot that we blow in Rosh Hashanah, נכון? תקיעה, נכון? שברים and תרועה, נכון? What are they? So the Zohar HaKadosh explained that when you hear the sound of the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, because it's a mitzvah for us to listen, not to blow shofar, to listen. אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על לשמוע קול שופר, נכון? So it's tell you when you're listening to those voice, what you have to do to become unguilty in a judgment, you have to understand what each sound means. The sound of tki'ah, the sound of shvarim, and the sound of truah. You follow what I'm saying? That's what you have to understand, what you have to focus. Now we have to understand why, when you focus on him, we become unguilty. So the Zohar explained that tki'ah come in the merit of Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was Ish HaChesed, the man of kindness. And his merit, they given us a help, the tki'ah, to help us. Then come, we say shvarim, nachon? That in the merit of Yitzhak Avinu, that was gvura. What it means gvura? String. Heroism. Yitzhak was a hero, Yitzhak Avinu. He was willing to be sacrificed on top of the altar. Can we imagine what Yitzhak Avinu stood on that? He was an age of 37 going to the Akedah. The Tru'ah and the merit of 2 tzaddikim, Yaakov Avinu and David HaMelech. Why? Because the suffering that they suffered. Yaakov Avinu suffered from Esav. He had to flee, to leave his house. Where is he run? To Lavan. Lavan make his life a misery. We explain on Shabbat. Didn't finish with Lavan. We have the punishment of Rachel, that she died, his wife, the one that she loved. Didn't finish with that. Come Dinah. Dinah, you remember. Didn't finish with Dinah. Yosef. How much suffering? All of those suffering, they took on a merit. The Zohar explained that the future children that are going to come from them, they're going to be Zakaim Badin. David HaMelech also suffered. We explained, we done a show. David HaMelech, for 28 years of his life, being considered by the entire family, except his mother, Has v'shalom, that is a mamzer. Did you know that? 28 years of his life, he been sent to the desert. Do you understand that? Who can live like this and not to lose faith? They took all of this suffering that the future generation become unguilty on the day of judgment. So now we understand what we have to focus and the merit of who. When we hear the sound of the Tkiah, Avraham Avinu. Shvarim in the merit of Yitzhak Avinu. Truah in the merit of Yaakov and David HaMelech. Let's continue now. We're supposed to blow 100 sound. But why do we blow 101? I'm going to bring two explanations. Why do we blow? I don't know how many of you heard about Sisra, the king Sisra. Did you hear about him? No. He was a wicked king. That he wanted basically to destroy the Jewish people. Nachon? Nachon? Ivan, you study a lot of Tanakh, I see. So what happened? He ran away because Barak was after him, chasing him. He ran to the tent of Yael. When he ran to the tent of Yael, Yael took the chisel and she penetrated through his skull, killed him. His mother, the mother of Sisra, was a big wizard, witchcrafter. And she suddenly felt like a son got killed. She tried and she realized who done it. She cursed the Jewish people 100 times. So we blowing, Hazal say, 100 times to cancel those curses. So why extra one? The Zohar explained to confuse the evil inclination. Who's the evil inclination? The Satan. Because the Zohar say, Yetzer Hara, who is Satan? So to confuse him, we blow extra one. There's another opinion that I saw. 1 second, Steve. There's another opinion that I saw that there is 100 sounds that we have to blow. We have to blow. Because those 100 tfilot, 100 sounds, that Sarah Imenu daven. That means 100 tfilot that Sarah Imenu daven. What she daven for? When she heard that her son going to be sacrificed, she daven. Listen what she daven. The mother daven. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu will accept the sacrifice. But what sacrifice? That Has v'Shalom not going to fall any defect on Yitzhak Avinu. That means the same like we take a korban, must not be any defect on a korban when you sacrifice it. When the Kohen sacrifices it, shouldn't be any defect on Yitzhak Avinu. The Zohar explained that she davened that the Satan kon hamim. Not only that, Hazal explained that Avraham Avinu covered Yitzhak. That the Satan kon hamim. So where's the extra one? What's the extra one? Hazal explained that the 101 blowing, the extra one, is to remind us the important thing. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that we have to remember, shofarot. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the extra one, to remind that there is one still blow that we're waiting for. The sound of Mashiach, that's it. To give us the hope that the Mashiach will come, and then the world going to be fixed. No more Yetzer Hara, no more evil inclination. So when we blow the shofar, Rabotai, if we focus on those things, we have a guarantee from Hazal, not for me, Hazal. And our sages giving us a guarantee. It's not me. Remember, Masechet Rosh Hashanah, Tet Zayin Amud Aleph. That means 16, folio 1. If we want to become clean, we want to become and guilty on the day of judgment, those are the things that we have today. And Be'ezrat Hashem, I would like to bless all of you that you have Shana Tova u'Metuka, Ktiva v'Chatima to you, to all your family, and all Am Yisrael. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll hear this time the final sound of shofar, and the Mashiach will come speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon.